Welcome back to part 2 of Christi Cadillac, the targeted individual. Okay, so I had to pray before coming back online, recording this video. I just wasn't there. I need to make sure that I'm in the proper spiritual, mental state to pull this story out. Because I'm forming the story as I speak. This is not written, it's not planned. Okay? Alright, so I last left off Christi Cadillac. A guy was interested in her, but the Gang Stalkers got a hold of the guy that was interested in Christi and introduced him to someone else. How weak is he? Ladies or guys, if you find love interest, or if it finds you while you're a TI, if you want to claim that you're a TI, or if you just want to state that you are, and they are so gullible and vulnerable to where someone can pay them, first of all, or someone can just call them and talk to them about you, and they decide to go another way, you don't want a weak person. You need a king or queen by your side. You need somebody with full armor, the full armor of God, according to Ephesians, by your side. What do I mean by the full armor? The breastplate of righteousness. That breastplate of righteousness is going to protect your heart, your immune system from physical pain, from heartbreak, from any poisons that you may eat at a restaurant or something, or any place that they may use to attempt to basically take your life or poison your bloodstream or poison your immune system. The shield of faith to catch those darts and those arrows when they hire witches to put curses on you. The helmet of salvation to keep your mind in a proper mental state while you're going through something like that. The sword of the Spirit, so you will know the words to speak out of your mouth towards that situation or that thing. The sandals of peace to keep you walking in the right path, irregardless of what may happen to you. The belt of truth, so you'll never be called a liar. Speak the truth out of your mouth of what's going on. Did I miss any parts? Okay, if I did, please forgive me. It's not a misinterpretation of the Bible. I'm just flowing freely right now. I'm going to make this one short, okay? So Christi Cadillac, her love interest, possibly a future husband, right? Not because she doesn't need him. He's gone. Christi, she's still struggling. She has no place to stay. She stays here and there, a little bit of everywhere to stay safe. But a lot of people don't even know she's going through what she's going through, because the Lord has shielded her to the point where it looks like she still has an apartment. It looks like she still has a car. She still dresses nice. Her hair is always done. Her teeth are always white. Most importantly, her body is pure. Now, they want to turn up the heat, because that politician that she made that comment on in her video is like, okay, she's talking to, as in the politician, she's talking to, what they call them, hensmen, hunchmen, the man they send out to take you out, to bother you. She's talking to her staff, and she's like, hey, that girl Christi, she's what's her status? She's been out on the streets for 2 years. She learned her lesson. Talking about me like that. How dare she? And her staff is like, well, she has been out on the streets for 2 years. Should we lay off of her a little bit? And the politician, you know what? I feel like I want to give this politician a name, but I'm not. I'm just going to call her a senator, okay? This politician is like, no, Christi hasn't repented for what she said about me. And her staff member is like, don't you mean she hasn't apologized? The senator's like, no, I said she hasn't repented. This is what's happening right now in this particular situation. The senator's staff had no idea that he was looked at in such a subordinate position to the point where this particular politician has taken the presence in her mind of a god, to the point where she feels that Christi Cadillac needs to repent to her and not apologize. So right now, that stronghold that she has on staff members that's causing them to follow her, these hunchmen, these men that do things behind closed doors. And he's like, you're not Jesus. He didn't say that to her. Of course he didn't. But he's pulling away from her. That comment has made him pull away from her. But he's not going to let her know. She instructs him, let's take a drive. Let's go through my block. Let's see all the other targeted individuals. Let's drive downtown on Idlewild Street. Let me see what everyone looks like. It's about 8:30 p.m. I want to see what they look like. They're taking a drive, and the senator rolls down her window a little bit. And the staff member says, well, Senator, there is Lindsay, there is Marianne. The senator laughs. She was like, oh, haha, Lindsay, right? Lindsay, what did Lindsay do to me? Oh, that thing. She was my waitress at the restaurant. She didn't apologize hard enough when she spilled that drink on me. Her cute little sorry. She kept going. Does she know that it cost me $200 taxpayer dollars to clean my sweater and it's never been the same? She didn't apologize enough to me. So what's her status? I see her out there. Why does she look like that? Oh, don't worry. We doped her up. She's completely a heroin addict right now. She does both men and women. We make a pretty good penny off of her. So Lindsay is a prostituted, crack-headed whore. This is what the senator says, you guys. Marianne, we still can't get her hooked, but she has money, from performing favors. We have not been able to get her hooked on drugs. Why not? Asked the senator. She's a little strong-minded, Senator, we just can't get her. We can't completely destroy her mind the way that you asked us to. Well, if you can't do that, the senator states, initiate her, put her in program 46. 46? You mean like the energy program? The Department of Defense testing program? That's exactly what I said, says the senator, right? So this program 46, you guys, hypothetically, is a program to where Marianne is going to become a test subject. And so they've initiated her name into this program. So Marianne is already out on the street. She's home and she's prostituting. But now let's see if this new electronic weapon would work on her brain. Let's shoot at her brain. Send those thoughts into her head. Keep tracks of her as well, right? The senator states, let's chip her. I want to know her every move, everything she's doing. Shoot some chips into her. Location trackers. Oh, and let's make her a mass shooter. Eventually. So, Marianne, who who at one point offended the senator, is now on the streets with Lindsay. And these two women have no idea really how they end up in that situation. They don't really know what happened to them. And so the senator is going to receive a check or a spiff or something from recommending Marianne to go into a program that Marianne is involuntarily a part of. And they're going to come along. They're going to take that electronic weapon. By the way, you guys, electronic weapons like this are illegal in the state of Michigan. Electronic harassment is illegal. And they're going to be sending heat wave type of electronic shots to her head to kind of crack her like frontal cortex, right? And to mess up her thought process to the point where she's not even thinking straight. Number one, she's already broken because she's begun to prostitute herself. And before that, she was a nurse. So the senator looks over, saying, okay, that's done. She'll never talk back to me. She'll never talk to me like that again. Stick me the way she stuck me. Stating that she was trying to save my life. The senator has a problem, you guys, if you haven't noticed. Her staff member, they're still driving down the street. They see Mark. Mark? What's up with him? The senator asks. She may not say what's up with him. She may inquire about his current status. Mark is, he was heterosexual. Now he's, the senator laughs. Haha. So he has to sell the backside to keep a roof over his head. The staff member's like, well, he does guys. His wife left him. Took his son. He sleeps in his car. But his car is broken down, so he hops out here and solicits himself to other men. And don't worry, Senator. His reputation's destroyed. His mind is destroyed. There is no need to send weapons his way. There's nothing else we have to do to Mark. Poor Mark. I should have let him go. I just didn't like the polish he put on my shoes. I asked him not to buff it, not to, he had the nerve to snap at me, but he was a good kid. I should have let's take him out of the program. Senator, we can't take him out of the program. He's been demasculated, if you know what I mean. He'll never be the same. Well, at least allow him to get a job. Senator. I'll remove his name, but he's already destroyed. Oh well, on to the next one. I want Christi Cadillac on this corner selling her butt. I really want to use another word, you guys, but I'm not going to use it. But this is what the senator is saying. I want her next. I want to see her here. As a matter of fact, break her down, all the way down. Staff member asks, what do you mean by all the way down, Senator? Doesn't she have a kid or something? Does her mom have her kid or something? She doesn't have any kids, but she has a cousin or something, Senator, that has kids. We looked into some family members. Is she fond of this cousin with kids? They were actually pretty close, Senator, back in their childhood. Christi really loves kids. Good, the senator states. So, this is how they identify who your family members are, right? They've already identified your family members, pardon me. So the senator goes to state, take one of the kids. The staff member is like, what do you mean, Senator? The senator states, I said take one of the kids. Take them out. You want us to kill a kid? My dear, don't I pay you enough? Yes, Senator, but it's a child. I don't care. Break her heart. I'm going to pause right here, you guys. You're a TI. You think they want to come after your kids? You think they want to come after your nieces and your nephews and your little cousins and your little cute dog and cat? Are you kidding me? Satan's tactics don't really change. He came to steal, kill, and destroy. Let's get back to the story. So, the senator has ordered the death of a child in Christi's family. The senator has ordered the death of a child in Christi's family to break her heart. You know what happens when your heart is broken? Broken heart syndrome. Your mind cracks. You begin to make mistakes mentally, make bad decisions. Your rational thinking is completely off. And Satan just ripped off that door. Now Satan has to have permission, does he not? From God. Wow. This is hard to swallow. Hard to swallow. So, Christi's cousin, let's call her Beth. Beth has a cute little son named Andrew. Andrew's 11 years old. And Beth has no idea her house is being watched. Beth has 9 kids in her house. And Andrew is the 5th child. So, they watch her house. It just so happens that Andrew has a social media account that allows him to communicate with other kids, right? In class, in school, across the world. They play games, blah, blah, blah. Well, and one day Andrew gets a little invite. Saying, hey, Andrew, you want to go get ice cream? What time? Andrew asked. About 10:30. In the morning we'll be in school? No, dude, at night. Let's sneak out. Andrew's like, nah, I can't do that. Like, I don't have any money and my mom won't let me do that. And the other kid is like, hey, Andrew, it's going to be some pretty girls there. Everyone's sneaking out for ice cream. It's Friday. We're big kids now. Are you scared? Andrew's like, no, I'm not scared. The kid's like, I'll pay for your ice cream if you just show up. Andrew's like, okay. And the kid's like, make sure that nobody knows you're gone, or else we'll all get in trouble and it'll be all your fault, Andrew. And they're in a chat session. Andrew's like, okay, I know how to sneak out. So that later that night, on this Wednesday evening, Andrew sneaks out. He puts pillows under his covers, and he puts a teddy bear. He puts his pajama on a teddy bear. So when the teddy bear sticks out from the cover a little bit, it looks like Andrew's sleeping. So while Andrew sneaks out for ice cream, Andrew arrives at the location of the ice cream shop, right, to meet this kid. But Andrew's not just meeting any type of kid. The kid Andrew's meeting is like 16 years old. Street hood kid. Like, what's up, Andrew? Andrew's like, hey, I thought you were like the same age as me. He's like, it's good. My little cousin's your age, man. This guy, let's call him Tony. Tony is like Filipino and Hispanic mixed together. Tony is a part of a street gang. Andrew becomes fond of Tony, right? And so Andrew and Tony talk. Andrew's like, where are the girls at? Oh, they're coming, you know. They talk for 10, 15 minutes. Tony buys Andrew ice cream. Tony gets a phone call. And Andrew's like, what's going on, man? And Tony's like, look, the girls are at my house. Like, you want to come, like, really fast? You can play some games, and then I'll drop you back off at home. Andrew's like, look, I've already snuck out. Like, I don't want to get in trouble. My mom, like, I don't want to get in trouble. Because Andrew is 11 years old. This is Christi's little cousin that she hadn't seen in a really long time, like 2 years, right? So, Andrew agrees to go. And when Andrew gets to this house of this 16-year-old boy, Tony, there's a man waiting in the house. The man is an undercover police officer. And he tells Andrew, like, Andrew, look, you're a young, vibrant kid. Don't you want to take care of your mom? Andrew's like, what do you mean? Your mom has like 9 kids. Don't you want to like make some extra money for her? Andrew's like, I'm going to make extra money. I'm 11. And the man says, don't you know you can make money playing video games? Andrew's like, oh, cool. Can I do that? He's like, nah, not with me. This is what I'll do for you, Andrew. The man pulls out a wad of money. Andrew's eyes widen because he knows his mom is having a hard time paying bills, right? So little Andrew's eyes, it widens, and the man reaches to hand Andrew the money. And he says, before you take this money, every week I'm going to need you to deliver a package for me. You can take it to school. And then when you're done from school, I want you to go across the street, around the corner, and I want you to drop the package off there. And Andrew's a smart kid. He watches like CSI. And Andrew asks, they're not drugs in there, are there? To this undercover cop. And the cop says, don't worry about it. Just do what I tell you to do. Andrew's like, look, I'm just going to go home. Andrew gets ready to walk out of the door. Boom. The news surfaced that an 11 and 16-year-old boy were playing with a gun. And the 11-year-old boy dies from a gunshot wound to his abdomen. He bled out. So Christi gets news about her sweet 11-year-old little cousin that's dead, a child. And God grabs Christi's heart and holds her heart so she can't feel the amount of pain that she's actually supposed to feel. Now, this is when the supernatural work of the Lord comes through. This is when the supernatural work of God begins to divert the plans of the enemy, because let not your heart be troubled. That's what the Bible reminds us, right? So Christi goes to her cousin's house to see about her little cousin, to discover that he's actually gone. He's not here anymore. He's dead, 11 years old. So now the article states 11-year-old boy could have possibly been dealing drugs. And now there's a trail of drug dealing in Christi's family, right? This didn't break Christi. The word gets back to the senator that this did not break Christi. The situation didn't break her. And make sure I'm still recording here. It's still recording. The situation, this story gets back to the principal, the senator, that Christi is unbroken. Christi, she cried, she hurt, she screamed. She even asked God why. That was a baby. What did he do? Yet Christi has no idea, really, that she's experiencing all that she's experiencing because she made a comment towards a senator. And people paid attention to Christi's comment. Somebody actually saved her comment. So now they're burying an 11-year-old child because the senator wanted a blood sacrifice. Not only did they do that, before they buried him, the senator contacted the funeral home, or had the staff to contact the funeral home to remove the child's organs, put them on the black market. So Beth, the mom, has no idea that her baby is being buried, stuffed with newspaper. Because the senator has profited from the organs of this child. Every part of him is gone. You would be surprised how many funeral homes, not all of them, but how many of them are involved with matters such as this one, and how they can cover things up. That undercover detective or police officer that tried to make that child sell drugs, either they're going to use him or discard him. No one really knows who he is. He's just a part of the game. Not even the police department knows who he is. They don't know he's doing that behind closed doors, right? And so when they start to attack the children while you're a TI, this is when Christi learns how to pray. And she calls out. And she's like, God, I'm tired of calling you God. I was taught to call you God, but every time I talk to you, it doesn't seem like you answer me the way I want you to answer me. You protected me, yes. You sent your angels to keep charge of me so I wouldn't sell my body and compromise. But God, can I call you something else so you can answer me better? I need to come out of the situation. Please help me. And God is like, my name is Yauhua. I have many names. And he whispers in Christi's ear. She feels God's breath on her ear. Her tears even dried up instantly. She smiles. Still no car. Christi walks into a restaurant, and as she was walking in, a manager was coming out with a piece of equipment, and he accidentally hit Christi as she was walking in the restaurant with a piece of equipment, and Christi falls back because he hit her in her stomach. She falls back onto like the wall, and Christi hits her head. Christi's dazed out. The manager knows that he's wrong, that this is now a personal injury case, right? So the manager picks Christi up, tries to get her to respond, and he's like, he's an Indian guy, so he's like, please don't call the police on me. Please don't call the police, right? He's like, don't call the police. I'll take care of it. I'll take you to the hospital. I'll take care of everything. And Christi's like, huh? So he picks Christi up and he puts her in his car, drives her to the hospital, and states that, what happened. He apologized. They check Christi out. They hold her, for a few hours, check her head and things like that. Hospital bill is $13,000 because they ran an MRI, CT scan. They drew her blood. They checked her stomach to make sure she wasn't pregnant. She didn't lose a baby. Indian man with good credit pulls out an American Express card, takes care of the bill. So Christi walked in around like 11:30 a.m., right? She's released from the hospital around, let's say, 4:30 p.m. The bank closes at 6. This Indian man takes Christi to the bank. He says, listen, I can look at you and I can see your situation. You look really good, but I've been in your situation before. I made hotel arrangements for you because they couldn't find an address for you in the hospital. I just assumed. I made hotel arrangements for you to stay at this hotel for a week. I know it's not enough. I'm going to take you there. It's paid for. You get your key. But please, I just ran to the bank. Here is a cashier's check for $25,000. Please don't sue me. And Christi, amazed, he said, if you take this, you cannot sue me. Do you understand? Christi's like, yes. And she said, thank you for taking me to the hospital. But really, you don't have to do this. Stop right there, you guys. When the Lord puts you in a position to be blessed from something minor injury, major accident, any sort of mishap by another person, and your TI may want to bless you financially because it was something that they did, let them do that, you guys. Don't stop people from coming out of their pocket in that kind of situation. Especially learn to receive. See, Christi was very independent. She wasn't like very flamboyant, as if she had this attitude of she didn't need anyone. She just took care of things herself. She was used to that, right? And being homeless and homeless off and on and all that, it caused her to become a little soft on the inside, to the point where, although they haven't hit her with electronic weapons yet in her brain, her thoughts are still not together as they were before. She's not as strong as she was before. So she's breaking down. She's becoming extra empathetic, extra sympathetic, extra empathy, extra emotional because of everything that she's gone through by herself, with no one but the Lord to hold her hand. And the man literally reminds her that when you get blessed like this, you take it. Don't say no. So he drops Christi off, let's say at the Marriott Hotel. He drops Christi off at the Marriott Hotel, Town Place Suites, the brand new one. Christi goes in. He checks her in. Christi goes upstairs, realizing her ID is about to expire. He gives Christi his business card. She goes, after so long, she checks into a hotel room, really nice hotel room. And on top of that, he gave Christi a gift card for food to a grocery store or something like that, right? Or it could be, you can use your imagination. He gave her a gift card to anywhere for food. So she gets in the room. Christi closes the door. She gets down on her knees and she thanks Yauhua, the God she serves that just gave him her name, the one she prayed to and asked for a new name. What can I call you by so you can answer my prayer? Right? And she opens this envelope with this $25,000 cashier's check. And it's not for $25,000, you guys. He lied to her. The cashier's check is for $35,000. $35,000. It's for $35,000. So after 2 years of going through what she went through, no one hiring her or anything, cashier's check is for $35,000. Her room is paid for a week. Christi rests in the room, and the Lord told her, because it's a certified cashier's check, to order dinner, rest, and tomorrow go deposit the check in a bank, in a new bank, not her old bank. So Christi goes to deposit this check for $35,000 the next morning, and she realizes when she gets to the bank, she feels a new energy. She feels like she's been baptized or something, like something has completely taken over her from the crown of her head to the bottom of her feet. She feels a new energy. You know, guys, money is energy. The man who gave her that cashier's check was a multi-millionaire with power. He has several restaurants. So she deposits this cashier's check into her new account for $35,000. They cleared the same day. And Christi goes from having 14 cents in her pocket to $35,000 in her bank account. Praise God. And so Christi's like, Lord, thank you so much. She weeps in the bank. We are not to be ashamed of the glory, of the gospel, of the power of Christ, Yeshua, you guys. She weeps in the bank. They couldn't understand like why she's crying, why she's weeping. And she begins to laugh. And then somebody's like, this girl she's on that stuff. Someone's like, nah, man, she probably won the lottery or something, right? Nevertheless, Christi walks out of that bank. And when she walks out of this bank, she takes her feet and she hits the ground. She said, the enemy's under my feet. You see how God just blessed her and changed her situation? Now she walks out. She looks around and she sees she's in a really nice area. She sees a spa across the street. Yes, a spa. She goes over there to that spa. But before she did, she thought about giving 10% to a church, and God said, don't give it to the same church. Tithing is not money. If you're going to give money, I'll direct you to a church to give it to. And Chris is like, Lord, I know you didn't think I was going to give to the same church. You know all things. She goes across the street to the spa. She gets a facial. She gets a massage. She gets a body wrap. She gets a wax. She was in there for until like 8:30 at night. Okay. When she gets out, there happens to be a salon still open. Girls in there, they're just chatting it down, right? Salon closes at 10 o'clock, so she goes over there to the salon. She asks, could anyone do her hair? And they're like, yeah, we got you. They did Christi's hair. And Christi was out by 9:45 p.m. An hour, 10 minutes to do her hair. So Christi has a fresh silk press in her hair, or she pressed her hair out really straight, silky. It's really pretty, Brazilian, whatever you want to do to your hair to straighten it out. And Christi is stepping out, although she has the same clothes that she's had. She doesn't know what happened with her bag. She doesn't care. So she goes back to the hotel. And let me see. Is my timing off? Okay, it's not off. All right. Yes, it is. Let me go back, you guys. Let me go back. Let me change the time so she doesn't get out of the spa at 8:30. Christi gets out of the spa it's in the morning. She goes to the bank. She gets out of the spa at 2:30 p.m. Goes to the salon. Someone's like, how can you reverse a story like that? Follow me. She goes to the salon at 3 o'clock. Gets out of the salon at 5 p.m. So now she has scrubbed away the past. She has waxed off the past. She has a new face, right? She's clean. She's purified on the outside of her body. She smells amazing. She gets her hair silk pressed. Now it's 5 o'clock. It's 5:30. Christi tries to order a Lyft, only to realize that she's been blocked from ordering Lyft. She can't order Lyft or Uber. They blocked her. When they blocked her life, when they block your life as a TI, they block you from everything, right? She can't even order DoorDash food, right? But she cannot order for some reason. Lyft is requesting a copy of her driver's license as a rider in order for her to use Lyft services. She's like, what? Christi doesn't get it yet. She still doesn't know what happened to her life. So she has to do the old-fashioned thing and get a taxi, if she can find one. So Christi's like, man, let me just walk. And Christi walked 4 blocks. She's been walking for 2 years, catching the bus for 2 years. She walks and she's in a new area with this new bank, and she sees a mall. Oh my gosh, is that Nordstrom? Is that Neiman Marcus? God speaks to Christi he says, be a good steward of your finances. Go in there and get rid of those old clothes and shoes. Buy a new jacket. And before you put that jacket on, bless it. Because all the works of your hand, I'm going to bless. I'm going to bless. Every word that's coming out of your mouth, I'm going to bring it to pass. So Christi goes to her chosen store. She gets new attire. She spends about $1,100 in the stores getting new like creams and perfumes, and she got a few pieces and some new shoes. And Christi comes out of that mall. She looks like a multi-millionaire. She looks like the same millionaire that just wrote her that check. Because your money is energy, which means you have to watch who you're giving your money to, you guys. Even if somebody really needs it, you got to watch who you give your money to. So Christi goes back to the hotel and she sits. By now, it's like 7 o'clock. Christi goes to order a new computer from Apple. She goes to pay for it online, and Apple cancels her order, and she's like, why was my order canceled? And Apple's like, this is Apple security. We flagged your purchase order. Your order is canceled. And Apple security begins to talk to her as if she's a criminal or a terrorist. And so Apple security has flagged Christi's name for terrorism because her name's already flagged in the systems, right? She wants to buy a computer. She has to go inside of the Apple store to buy a computer. And God told her to do it. Go inside the Apple store to buy the computer. So Christi go downstairs. She went back downstairs to the hotel lobby. She asks them to transport her to the mall to grab a computer and bring her right back if they can. They have a courtesy van, so they say yes. She goes, picks up an apple, only to notice that security really has their eyes on her in this Apple store. And it was uncomfortable, but she got her new computer. Hey, with a new case, she went back to that same mall. And when she gets back to the hotel, God said to buy a car and to get a place. And while she was at the Apple store, the security cameras at Apple was just snapping away, capturing her image. Her image goes back to security at Apple, and her image is placed into this database that originally had her image from first becoming a TI. Her progress is being tracked. And it gets back to the senator. And the senator is like, what the? I'm going to leave it there, you guys. Hope you enjoyed this story. I will come back. I will return. I want to keep going, but I'm going to come back. I'll return. I hope you learned something from that.